The reason why y'all want Black Americans to be affected by ICE so bad is because y'all are still convinced that we are immigrants, and we are not. We are not. We've been here for over 400 years, and for most of us, our ancestors have been here even before the slave trade. Most of us have American indigenous lineage that we can actually trace because a lot of our families were reclassified from Indian to Negro. And there's proof that we were reclassified. We are not immigrants. They can't send us back nowhere. Where they going to send me back? North Carolina? South Carolina? Georgia? Florida? That's the only place that we can go. We're not immigrants. This is not our battle. Furthermore, most of the people who are now being deported, or most of the people that are immigrants here, have always had a stigma against Black Americans. We're lazy, we're dirty, we're ghetto, we're loud, we're uneducated, we're this and we're that. But now that ICE is outside, we're supposed to be on the front lines of the same people who come here with these mentalities about us and don't even know us. I don't understand that. This is not our battle. This has nothing to do with us. And all the Black Americans who want to go outside and put themselves on the front line and risk their lives, that's on them. But don't expect for the majority of us to be out there risking our lives for something that don't got nothing to do with us. Now, when it comes to immigration, me, myself, I don't mind immigration as long as it's legal. I worked in the immigration office for a period of time back in 2016. And when I say there are hundreds of thousands of files of people trying to get into this country, and I'm talking about people who have been trying for 15 plus years to get into this country the legal way. And they still haven't been able to get in yet because of whatever is going on. And yet, we're trying to be pressured to fight on a front line for people who jumped in front of all of those people, okay? And cross borders illegally. Right now, if I take my ass to the Mexican border and think that I'm just going to cross into Mexico, there's going to be consequences and repercussions for my ass if I get caught. If I try to take myself to the Canadian border right now, there's going to be consequences and repercussions if I do that illegally. So why is America expected to be the country where people can just come in and out as they please, undocumented? We don't know who you are. We don't know what's going on. We don't know where you came from. We don't know if you're running from something. We don't know if you're a prisoner somewhere else and now you over here trying to sneak and hide. We don't know what the fuck is going on. Furthermore, let's look into how many Black women have been unalived by illegal immigrants. One of my good friends is the sister of Dakara Thompson. Dakara Thompson was a 19-year-old beautiful woman, young woman, who was unalived by an illegal immigrant. He raped her, he SA'd her, he unalived her, and then threw her off a bridge. Okay, this was back in the late August, early September of 2025. So this is rather recent. Okay, and her family is now in court dealing with that. The gag to that story is that same illegal immigrant that unalived that beautiful young lady had been caught on a DUI a couple of months to a year before that, if I'm not mistaken, and nobody checked to see if he was actually supposed to be here or not. So he could have gotten deported and that baby girl would still be here. So no, this is not my fight. This is not our fight. We are not expected to be on the front lines for everybody, while everybody continuously disrespects us and undermines the things that we have going on. We have all of these people who are of Caribbean heritage and so on and so forth in politics that speak against reparations because they say it's not fair or it's going to put us in debt and all of this other shit. But then we're also supposed to go fight for you? Are y'all crazy? No. This don't got shit to do with me. My people have been here. I myself have my tribal ID because I did the work for for my genealogy and traced it back and was able to prove that I'm indigenous American. And a lot of us have. So no.
Immigrants did not build America. Slaves and their descendants, Black Americans, built America, like quite literally with their hands, okay? Let me explain to you the issue with Shaboozey's Grammy speech. Let me start by saying that immigrants have greatly enriched this country, okay? We would not be where we are without them. However, they did not build America. And I think this is such an important distinction to make during Black History Month, because the comment, immigrants built America, is rooted in the erasure of Black contribution, okay? Specifically, Black American contribution, however involuntary it was. I understand that Shaboozey was coming from a good place when he said that immigrants built this country, but historically and factually, it is incorrect, baby. Chattel slavery built this country, and it is important to recognize that. People don't want to talk about slavery, but the reality is that slavery in the cotton economy is what gave America its legs, baby. There would be no America without slavery. The enrichment that is immigration did not come until significantly after slavery, right? Slavery dates back to the 1600s, girl, okay? All the way until 1865, where we get the Emancipation Proclamation. And even after this point, there were some Black people who were still being held captive as slaves because they just didn't get the news yet, girl, okay? So when you think about that, how long slavery spanned, okay? And the fact that we get ushered into Reconstruction and Jim Crow, and slaves are now repurposed as sharecroppers, right? Or repurposed into roles in which they are only good for service. They are only good for, you know, functional positions that help prop up the country, not actual careers, not anything actually profitable. Like literally, Black people simply migrated from slavery into something else until we get into the civil rights era. For the people who think that we're arguing semantics, not only is this an important distinction to make so that we are recounting American history and Black history accurately, but also because the suppression of Black history, the erasure of Black history, okay, is what leads to the repetition of these atrocities, not on Black bodies, but onto others. And this idea that Black history and American history, when it repeats, that it's going to repeat with the same people, it does not. It does not. And I think we're seeing a little bit of the proof, but that will never, ever, ever change the fact that the biggest and greatest group affected by American history, affected by the American plight, and that actually built America is Black American descendants of slaves.
You do realize that they're kidnapping Black Americans too.
We know about kidnapping. We got kidnapped from Africa, got here, worked the land. After we worked the land, we fought for our freedom, got our freedom. After we fought for our freedom, we went to Jim Crow. Jim Crow is where y'all started lynching us, hanging us, because y'all didn't do that during slavery, eating us and all type of weird ass shit and taking our land. After you took our land, we had to do segregation because you guys wanted to be segregated after you stole our shit. After you stole our shit, we had civil rights so we all could be equal. Everybody, immigrants and everybody. That's when the immigrants started coming. Black immigrants did not come to America until civil rights. After that, y'all put crack in our neighborhoods, and then we just disappear. Y'all stop giving a fuck about us and shit. Boom, 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 boom. Niggas getting killed by the police to the left and right. We telling you guys about it. No one's fucking listening. No one's listening. It's time to vote. Black women vote 90%. Black men vote like 85 or 80%. Not the fuck with the orange dude. And the immigrants don't vote the same way. And you want us to do something about it?
Yo, what's up guys? How's it going? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to this new channel, your channel. I'm Amari Oscar. You can call me Amari or Oscar, either works. I hope you all be nice to me because I'm a new creator. With that said, subscribe, like, share, and don't forget to leave your comments down below.
Who is an immigrant in America, and was America built by immigrants? Yesterday was the Grammys, and there was a strong sentiment in support of immigrants and against ICE. There was a statement that Shaboozey said yesterday that deserves some discourse.
Immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them.
You guys remember not too long ago, Zohran Mamdani made the same statements. Now, if we're being honest and we're being pedantic, to say America was a country built by immigrants solely is a complete rewriting of history, and it's disingenuous and erases the story of black Americans in this country. One of the sentiments I've noticed online over the past couple of years is that everyone across the world associates America with immigration, and they think nothing is indigenous to America. Like Americans don't have food, Americans don't have culture, Americans don't have anything that is unique to here. And they don't do that for any of the other countries in the Americas, whether it be the Caribbean or South America. And I understand why that is. It's because American hegemony has ran the world for the last century. And with that, American culture and American story has become synonymous with pop culture. So people don't feel the need to divulge and dig deeper. There is no reality that anyone who is a descendant of those formerly enslaved black Americans in America could be an immigrant. We are the product of forced migration to the New World, and we are one of the foundational Americans. I said previously that the only foundational Americans when this country was created are black Americans, Native Americans, and those original European descendants. Anyone that came later is an immigrant. Immigration and immigration means leaving a country voluntarily to move and settle somewhere else, whether it be permanently or with their hope of returning home. None of the countries in Africa existed when the slave trade was going on. So no one in the Americas could be an immigrant by definition. We have been in America prior to the inception of America being a country. I say that to say that doesn't erase immigrants from the story of America, because those Chinese and Japanese immigrants that came here helped expanded America westward, and without them, that wouldn't have occurred. The subsequent European migration that happened through Ellis Island helped develop all the major cities like Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago, New York. Without our Filipino and Caribbean aunties, we wouldn't have any nurses to take care of us. Without our Mexican and Central American compadres working in the farms, we wouldn't have access to food the way that we do have it, or tend your gardens, or tend your home. So there's so many things that add to the story of America, and immigrants are definitely at the core of the American system, the American story, and American history. But when we're telling that history, we have to tell it correctly, because no black American will be offended by you saying immigrants definitely developed this country. They developed the country alongside black people, but at its foundation, for centuries before immigrants came, black people were here forcibly, free labor, forcibly. They helped develop these Fortune 500 companies, from cotton and tobacco farms, forcibly. All those other immigrants that came at least got paid. Whether they were paid pennies on a dollar, they were still paid, and they were never slaves. So when it comes to telling history correctly, especially during Black History Month, we have to say things correctly. And it's not a dig. I know what he meant, but a lot of people don't know what he meant, because I've seen comments saying, well, how are black Americans not immigrants? You can't be immigrants in a country you were forced to come to. In the same way that black Americans aren't immigrants, you would never call a Brazilian an immigrant, a Jamaican an immigrant, a Haitian an immigrant, a Dominican an immigrant. But for some reason, you guys can't seem to grasp that black Americans are the same exact descendants of those who exist in the Caribbean and exists in South America. Happy Black History Month.
I'll share my thoughts about this Black Americans and ICE thing. So let's start with the history, because understanding where things come from helps make sense of today. Immigration in America isn't new, and for black folks, it hits different. Our ancestors didn't choose to come over, they were forced through the slave trade, ripped from their homes, and treated like cargo. That wasn't immigration, it was a crime against humanity. And early American laws on who could belong here, they were built to keep power in certain hands, excluding people based on race. Think about those old rules that only let free white persons become citizens, shutting out black people completely. Even laws chasing down escaped slaves feel like a blueprint for how federal agents could override local protections to control movement. Over time, as the country changed, civil rights fights opened doors a bit more, letting in folks from Africa, the Caribbean, and beyond. But that legacy of control and exclusion lingers in how policies get enforced today, often hitting communities of color hardest. It's not about blaming anyone now, it's just recognizing patterns so we can think clearly about the present. Now, when we talk about Black Americans and ICE, it's important to remember we are not all in the same boat. There's a big difference between folks whose families have been here for generations, descendants of those enslaved, and more recent immigrants from places like Haiti or Nigeria. For those born here as citizens, ICE isn't supposed to touch you. The rules are clear, they focus on non citizens. But life isn't always that cut and dry. Profiling happens, and sometimes people get caught up in the mix because of how they look or where they live. It's rare for citizens to face real reputation threats, but it's worth being aware that systems aren't perfect. For black immigrants, though, the stakes can be higher. If someone's undocumented or has run into legal issues, ICE can step in under the law. That's not me saying it's fair. Enforcement can feel uneven, with biases creeping in. But legally, yeah, they have that authority from federal immigration rules. The question of right depends on your view. Some see it as necessary border control, others as overreach that echoes old controls and movement. I think it's fair to question if it's applied justly across the board. Should black Americans worry about all this? It depends on who you are and what worries you. For native born folks, deportation isn't a personal risk, so maybe the worry is more about the bigger picture. How these tactics remind us of over-policing in our neighborhoods or how they affect family members who are immigrants. It's natural to feel uneasy if it feels like the system is expanding in ways that could touch anyone eventually. On the other hand, if your focus is on day to day life, jobs, or community resources, this may not be top of the list. Not everyone sees it as an immediate threat, and that's okay. Worries are personal. As for protesting ICE, that's a tough one, and opinions split the community. On one side, standing up shows solidarity, especially since black immigrants are part of our broader family, and the issues tie into fights against injustice we've known forever. Protesting can highlight problems like family separations or aggressive raids, pushing for better ways. But I get the other view. Why dive in if it doesn't directly hit you? Or if it feels like energy better spent on things like economic opportunities or reparations? Protests take time and risk, and if folks feel like the support isn't always mutual, hesitation makes sense. No one's wrong here, it's about what aligns with your values. At the end of the day, Black America's story is one of strength through tough systems, from forced arrivals during slavery to navigating today's rules. ICE is part of that ongoing conversation about control, belonging, and fairness. Whether you worry, protest, or focus elsewhere, the key is staying informed and supporting each other. We've come through so much. We'll figure this out too.
Black Americans, don't let these folks convince y'all asses to get out there and care about what ICE doing to these people. Let me say that once again. Do not let these motherfuckers online convince y'all to get out here and protest against ICE. Don't let them guilt you talking about, well, the Somalians, the Mexicans, all the immigrant groups, they stood with us when something happened to George Floyd. So the fuck what? Y'all gotta think during that time, what was going on around that time? COVID was happening around that time. COVID, we were stuck in the house around that time. That's why you've seen a lot of people come out and support that. Why it took George Floyd for people to care? Out of all the people that got unalive prior to George Floyd, that's when all of a sudden black folks care. When Breonna Taylor got unalive, what did we hear? We ain't hear nothing from these black folks. When Philando Castillo got unalive, we didn't hear nothing from these black folks. Even when baby Tamir Rice got unalive, we didn't hear nothing from these black folks. We didn't even hear nothing with the dude that got choked out in the train by Daniel Penny. Where was they at? Huh? Where was they at? And I'm going to tell y'all something. A lot of my people keep saying, oh, these are immigrants that's making these videos talking about we need to stand with ICE. No, the fuck it is not, Black Americans. These are Black Americans saying this goofy shit. These are Black Americans. These are not tethers. These are not Africans. These are not just Caribbeans or Mexicans. These are black Americans getting their ass online, doing these lives, talking about we need to fight for these folks. That's what the problem. See, I ain't finna be delusional. I'm with the delineation movement, but just because I'm delineating, I'm not going to be delusional and a fool. These are black Americans that's making these goddamn videos trying to have us feel sorry for these people. It doesn't make sense. Y'all like to throw that shit in our face, and so what? They don't care about us. They don't. And they talking about, well, you know, the white folks been trying to put us in slavery. They mad about the Dred Scott and blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? They had all these years to do something to us. Why they haven't done it yet? Why they haven't done it? We always gonna be the first op in white people's eyes. Duh. These people, what these people going through is nothing. These people getting taps on the wrist. We got unalive, drag. People got their genitals cut off. Tarred and feathered, hung. Women got strung on trees, getting their bellies cut and babies falling out there motherfuckers and landing on the ground, and you see white folks laughing. This ain't happening to these people, bruh. This is not happening. You're not seeing a bunch of these people getting unalive by the police on camera, on TV. We're not seeing that. There's no immigrant Philando Castillo's getting popped all these times in front of their baby, and we sitting there watching, the whole world watching this man take his last breath. Fuck out of here. Do not fall for these folks, people. Do not fall for it. It's all a lie, it's all a con game, it's all some democratic shit. I ain't gonna call it democratic shit. It's this thing with black people that irk my motherfucking soul. We feel sorry for people. We got this moral spirit within us. That shit is over with. Let them handle their battles, bro. They're not going through nothing. We're going to go through stuff more than they will. Every day, there's something happening to a black American on this land while ICE is still fucking with these folks. Black Americans are still getting targeted, regardless. That's the thing that I don't get. These ICE want us to go against ICE people. Regardless of what's happening to the immigrants, niggas still getting fucked up out here. What the fuck is y'all talking about? Huh? Let me tell y'all something. We always been the first of everything. We ain't sitting here relaxing. We just ain't gonna put our energy to that. We got too much shit going on out here right now. Let them people fight them battles. Let them people that practice anti-black hatred fight their own battles, bro. We ain't they daddy. They need to learn how to fight. See, they come from cultures where they want to worship white folks and shit. Now their feelings hurt, they don't know what to do. But the niggas in America been trying to tell them for decades, but they never want to listen. Black America, do not fall for this shit. Do not let these people guilt y'all. And be a fool out here, seeing a bunch of young black folks out here hollering, let them stop it, this is wrong, man. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Don't listen to these people. These people get online sounding out intellectual. Now, black people, just as well as ICE is rounding all these people up and doing these horrible things to other groups of people, just keep in mind, black people, you are next. You are next. And what you think they're going to do to you? Man, you better sit your goof ass down. Heifer and nigga. Talking to the woman and the nigga. Talking that shit to me. The fuck wrong with you? That intellectual pseudo shit with the people with the bones and they know, what you call them, septum rings? We ain't listening to you niggas. Nobody ain't listening to y'all. Y'all ain't out there doing nothing. Go out there and get the septum ring pulled. Let ICE pull your septum ring and see what y'all gonna do. Fuck out of here, bro. This is dangerous. You setting our people up.
So there we have it, folks. Thanks for watching and listening to my take. If this sparked thoughts, drop a comment down below. Let's keep it respectful and real. Hit that like and subscribe if you want more balanced talks like this. Take care and see you next time. Bye bye.